when you're there and then bang, Stipe drills him with the hardest right hand.
That first time is different.
He's ever felt in his life. Jones versus Stipe, the fight so long in the making. Who wins and why, Anthony? What do you think?
Well, I haven't started digging deep into my research, but to be fair, neither one of them fought to me.
Jon Jones, you know Stipe. Come on.
My instincts in my heart and just my snap when you ask me says Stipe.
That's interesting.
I think a lot of the advantages that Jon enjoys that he enjoyed at 205 and the things that he does well I don't know that they're necessarily going to be as prevalent at heavyweight. I think that he's always moved very, very well at 205. I don't care what anybody says. You add 20, 30, 40 pounds, you're going to move different. You're going to be slower. I think Stipe has the speed advantage. I think Stipe is a better pure boxer. I think he's big and strong and preparing for this week and the fights, I did this thing with ESPN where I actually sat down and watched the fight with a reporter, my fight with Jon, and talked about kind of the stuff that was going on in my head and how I was feeling and the things he was doing. And he's so magical in there. But a lot of the things that he did to me, he's not going to be able to do to Stipe. Kind of held me up against the fence and bullied me because he was so much bigger and stronger and just better in the clinch in that position than me. I don't think he can do that with Stipe. When Jon gets uncomfortable, he gets closer. He always has. He does very well fighting at range. But when he doesn't like that range or it's not going exactly the way that he wants it to, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going bad. It's just maybe not the way he wants it to. His instincts will always bring him closer. That's where he's safe. That's where he feels safer. I don't know that that's always the best place to be in there with a guy. With Cyril Gane, of course, that's the place to be with Cyril Gane. That's a given. That's where you're going to be more. That's where everybody's going to be more. Yeah, they're going to be more successful there. I don't know that that's the case with Stipe. He's a great wrestler in his own right. He's good in the clinch. He's powerful with the short shots. Jon's not the typical doubles and singles guy. He's just not. I think that they both have a lot of things that they have to combat, but I just feel like Stipe doesn't do a lot. He reminds me of Jan Blachowicz a little bit. He's very simple and basic. There's not a lot of flash and flair, but the things that he does do, he's very good at. And so he doesn't leave a lot of opportunities to make mistakes. Guys like DC and Francis had opportunities to hurt him because they have big power in their hands. I'm not saying that I'm not meaning this in a negative, but Jon doesn't have that kind of power. I know for a fact
he doesn't.
He doesn't have that kind of power.
We've never seen Jon with a one-punch knockout. The way he beats people, he kind of beats them down. He gets on top. Right. He uses his elbows, maybe knees, clinches, elbows.
It comes down to the wrestling, though. It comes down to the wrestling.
But he does not have one-punch knockout power. Okay, and a lot of the time you're kind of either born with that, you have it or you don't. Jon doesn't have that. He has a tremendous amount of other attributes. I'm on some bloody new nerve medication. My God, I can feel it. I tell you that. This is making me a little bit disorientated. But Stipe does have one-punch knockout power. Stipe could knock him out. You better take over. I'm telling you, this nerve medication. I'm starting to feel a little bit lightheaded right now. My God.
Yeah, I mean, Stipe could put Jon out in one shot. I don't know that Jon could do that to Stipe. I think it comes down to the wrestling, though. I believe in my heart of hearts, if Jon wants to be successful or is going to be successful, he's got to mix in takedowns. He's got to mix in the level changes. He's got to do something that's going to stop Stipe from just walking him down, walking forward, and closing that distance. And will he do that? I would suspect that that's probably his game plan. Will he get takedowns? Probably. At some point he'll get one. But
there's a lot of talk as well about, Stipe being old. Of course. He's 42. Okay. He's a heavyweight though. Look at Evander Holyfield. Look at what some of these older fighters have been able to do. And he's had 3.5 years off.
Let's talk about miles though. Who's got the more miles? How many 5-round title fights has Jon been in and trained in? or train
Yeah,
for.
but there's that. But the 3.5 years away, I believe, will be a blessing for Stipe. He's a time away, mentally and physically, to rest, to recover. Listen, the last image that everybody had of Stipe was getting knocked out against Francis Ngannou. Right. And a lot of people that are new to the sport don't realize who Stipe Miocic is. Mm-hmm. He's big, he's strong, he's got tremendous wrestling. If Jon thinks he's just going to go in there and out wrestle him the way that he did Cyril Gane, I think he's in for an absolute shock. Look at what DC did against Stipe. Yeah, DC's a better wrestler and he got more takedowns, but Stipe got a few of his own. And DC had to work his goddamn ass off. And DC lost 2 out of those 3 fights. You know,
DC's known for his cardio, and Stipe was right there with him, pushing the pace the whole time.
We haven't seen, and to your point, we haven't seen Jon really in a fight at heavyweight. The 30, 20 pounds, whatever it is, it will take its toll. It will have an effect. It will slow him down. He doesn't hit as hard as Stipe. He's going to struggle to take him down. Jon's longer, but not much. 84 inches to 80 inches, which is 4 inches. But when that's wingspan, tip to tip.
It doesn't really matter, though. It doesn't really matter, though, because Jon doesn't use his... I'm not saying he doesn't use his range well, because I know all these people on here are going to go off on me. He doesn't use his boxing range as a weapon. Everything Jon does that's dangerous and controlling range is from the waist down. It's from the front kicks. It's from the side kicks. It's from the oblique kicks. Like, he manages the range with his bottom half. He doesn't manage any distance. Go back. If you guys don't believe me, go back and watch any Jon Jones fight. He manages, he'll put his hand out straight and he puts it out. Hands. But it's almost like he's creating this invisible wall in front of you that you don't want to pass. But he's not sticking jabs. He's not setting his range with his punches. No. He's not turning him over. He's not using his upper body to dictate the range. Like, it'll take Stipe 15 seconds to realize that. I noticed it immediately. And I was like, because I didn't prepare for that.
And then that's why he's been so successful, because he does have a unique approach. And until you've been in there and faced him, you're kind of taken away. As you said, typically you're here, you're boom, do all this. He's out there, he's kind of grabbing you, he's touching you, he's playing this game, he's throwing little teeps, he's throwing oblique kicks and all this kind of stuff. And it's a very unusual approach. Jon's a master of doing that, but he has had a massive reach advantage over most of his opponents. For sure. That's going to be massively minimized now. Massively minimized against Stipe, plus the power, plus the strength, plus the one shot, plus the wrestling. I still think Jon Jones wins, but I think it's going to be a lot harder than what people think.
It's not going to be a whitewash, that's for sure. And for as much shit as I think Stipe gets, he's a very, very intelligent fighter. He's very smart. Like, you don't always sound like.
What are you talking about in terms of shit? What kind of shit are you talking about?
Because he just him and Vellante are just a couple bros out there, But yeah, he's very, very smart. He makes adjustments very well in real time. I'm not saying he's Jon Jones level fight IQ, but he's not far off. You don't become the greatest heavyweight of all time, one of the most dangerous divisions in the entire world, versus some of the most dangerous guys that have ever been in the heavyweight division. If you're not smart. And I just think that Jon's going to have to bring something new, though, and I don't doubt that he will, but he has to, because there's so much tape on him. There's you kind of know what you're getting yourself into with Jon. Now, has he been the best in the world at it? No one's been able to stop it so far, yeah. But at some point in time, that won't be the case. We've talked about that with Amanda Nunes and Chris Cyborg and GSP, and at some point in time, that will end. They will, at some point in time, Jon Jones won't be the Jon Jones that we know. Is that going to be the next time we see him? I don't know. But at some point in time, he's aging. He's not a young man anymore. He's not the youngest UFC champion right now.
I just can't see. I mean, Jon is fast, he's tricky, he's good, he's got unique entries and all the rest of it. He's crafty, he comes with a good game plan. We know all of this. I still can't really see a world. And yeah, we've seen him training with the likes of Gordon Ryan and some of the best wrestlers as well. And that's fantastic. But still, when it comes down to it, I just can't see a world where Jon Jones goes out there and he's bossing Stipe around the octagon like easily, like he did against Cyril Gane. I just can't see that. And granted, I couldn't see Ilia Topuria knocking out Max Holloway either. And that happened, right? It happened. But I just don't think it's going to go down like that. I think Stipe is going to be there the entire fight. And I think he's going to really push him. And we could see a world where Jon starts to get tired because of that extra 20 pounds, right? That has an effect. And if it gets
a difference.
And the one-punch power that Stipe has as well. Knocked out Verdum going backwards. Junior Dos Santos. Alistair Overeem. I mean, the list
it
of
changes the way that,
beaten.
and it changes the way that Jon has to approach the fight himself. It's one thing to wade into range at 205 versus me, who you're significantly larger than, and have this advantage. Yep. You can wade in, close the distance, grab onto him, and then drag him down or whatever you want to do. Stipe does. I don't have Stipe type of power. You can get away with that. With me, but like that's gonna change. He's not gonna be as comfortable to just start reaching and grabbing hands and trying to close the distance. It changes his approach. It has to.
Yeah, I talked about this last week, because it will be different when you're there and then bang, Stipe drills him with the hardest right hand.
That first time is different.
He's ever felt in his life. Because you know what that's like in a fight, Anthony, when we've got.
I know what it's like versus Stipe.
yeah. And you know what it's like versus Jon Jones.
Right.
So go on. Which one would you rather take? A right hand of Jones or a right hand of Stipe?
That's an easy question. I'll take them all versus Jon. That's the difference. Yeah. One scares me and one doesn't. That's how I look at it. And one of them is significantly better than the other one. And I don't think there's any secrets there. Jon is he's a better, more well-rounded. He has more tools than Stipe
I will say
does.
this, though.
But one of them scares the fuck out of me and one doesn't.
Yeah, of course. Jon's crafty. He comes with a game plan. He's taller. He's longer. He's quicker. He's slicker. He's just got a wider arsenal. There's
more weapons.
Yeah, the knees and the elbows. He has a massive advantage with that kind of stuff. I can see him. If Jon wants to get a stoppage, I can see him getting in the tie clinch, just ripping him up with elbows, driving a knee into his face, doing a little foot sweep and getting him down while he's hurt, and following down. Because the way that Jon follows through with those elbows and like the arc that he has is unbelievable. I mean, he just destroys his opponents with the elbows. So if that's Jon's best weapon to me in this fight, standing there trading isn't going to work. Takedowns, of course, you mix it up, you keep him guessing, but it's not a traditional fight. Jon's going to try and get in the clinch against the fence, use the knees, use the elbows, little foot sweep, put him down, jump on top of him. That makes it sound easy. It ain't going to be easy, mate, when Stipe's going right hand, left hook,
going to the body.
You down the pipe.
It's different. Like, it'll be different when Jon feels the power of the first. It's different. And I've been in there with, excuse me, I squeaked there for a second. I've been in there with training and fighting with some of the biggest, the heaviest hitters. I've trained with with heavy hitters. There's just a few people that stand out that are different, and Stipe is at the top of that list.
Mando is clinically proven to control body odor for 72 hours, wherever you stink, pits, package, feet, and beyond. So make the switch to Mando whole body deodorant and smell like a zero every day. It was created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. Clinically proven to block all day and control odor for 72 hours. It is baking soda free. It is paraben free. It is pH balanced, so it's safe to use below the belt. Clinically proven to control odor better than a shower with soap alone. And by the way, it doesn't just stop BO. It makes you smell nice. It makes you smell fresh, and it is 100% natural, organic, and fragrance oil free, dermatologist recommended. And we have a fantastic offer for you. So give it a try. You won't be disappointed. So all you got to do is go to shopmando.com, use the code Bisping, and get $5 off your starter pack. That is over 40% off. Shopmando.com. Use the code Bisping for $5 off your starter pack, which is over 40% off.